Hello everyone, my name is Kanav and I have secured an All India rank of 2 in AILET 2024 examination, and today we'll be discussing some 50 important GK questions from the topic of elections. As we know, CLAT GK mein elections will hold a very important value this year, and there's a very high probability of a question coming like of a particular passage coming in from elections in this year's CLAT, and also many questions from the same topic can be asked in AILET. And जैसे कि हमें पता है कि they won't be asking direct questions, and also here differentiating between polity and politics becomes very important, क्योंकि जो हमारे क्वेश्चंस आएंगे वो पॉलिटी या फिर फैक्ट्स पे आएंगे, पॉलिटिक्स पे क्वेश्चन नहीं आएंगे. सो वी नीड टू इंश्योर कि वी कीप दैट डिस्टेंस एंड वी मेंटेन दैट गैप, एंड मतलब वी डोंट cover unnecessary details which won't be asked in the paper. Before delving into the session, I would like to let you know about a boot camp for law students which the study anchor is conducting from 26th of June to 30th of June. In this boot camp, we'll be covering all sections of CLAT and AILET. On day 1, we'll be having 2 hours of a class for English, followed by 1 hour class of GK. On day 2, we'll be having 2 hours of logical, followed by 1 hour of GK. On day 3, we'll be having 2 hours of legal, followed by 1 hour of GK. And on day 4, we'll be having 2 hours of maths and 1 hour of GK. And on day 5, we'll be having an all India open mock. So now it's a very great opportunity for all of you who really want to get an edge for CLAT and AILET. So do register for the same, and if you're interested, you can scan my face or you can check the link in the description. So what do you understand by polity? Polity यही हुआ कि क्या-क्या articles constitution से related हैं, क्या-क्या provisions हैं, या फिर कुछ general facts about previous year elections and everything. So in considering that manner, I have compiled 50 important questions related to general elections of this year. Now let's delve directly into the questions. So number one question is, when was the Election Commission of India established? So ideally everyone should know the answer to this question, which is 1950. But still, if you don't know the answer, then you can get it through elimination. So see, 1947 is the year when we got independence. So this is too early to have an election commission. So we can eliminate this option. And also we did not have a constitution by then. We did not even have a constituent assembly established and well in place and functioning to a great extent in 1947. So that could not be the answer. Then 952, we already had the first elections. And definitely 950, when the constitution came into power, then we'll have election commission of India. That's very basic. And then 1955, it's just too late, because 1952 we already had our first elections. So this can also be eliminated. So 1950 is the natural choice, and the correct answer, the exact answer is 24 January 1950. And there's one interesting fact about election commission, that it was established before our constitution itself came into power. As we know, our constitution came into power on 26th January, but election commission was formed on 25th January. So an important fact. Who appoints the chief election commissioner of India? The answer is President of India. Many such major positions, even the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, Chief Justice, everyone is almost appointed by President. So even if you don't know the answer, you can maybe you could have taken a smart guess with regards to this question. Now what is the tenure? So the answer is option B, 6 years or up to 65 years of age, and that is actually standard for a great deal of posts which are senior positions in the government. Then which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the Election Commission? The answer is very naturally Article 324. There are certain articles that you need to know about Constitution. You don't need to as such remember articles for CLAT and AILET, but you never know what they can ask, especially AILET. So there's a high probability that at times Constitution articles might be asked to you. So you should definitely cover it in order to ensure that you don't miss out on anything. And there are certain articles that you should definitely know, not just for CLAT and AILET, but just as a aware citizen and aware law student. So these articles would include fundamental rights, a bit of DPSPs, that is directive policy, directive principles of state policy, and also certain union government ki cheezein you should be knowing. Now going back into this, next question stands to be, how many election commissioners can the Election Commission of India have at maximum? The answer is 3, as currently also we have 3 election commissioners, with one being Chief Election Commissioner himself. Which constitutional amendment reduced the voting age? So the answer is 64th Amendment Act. This came in the year 1988, Rajiv Gandhi government, and they reduced the age from 21 to 18. So it's a very important fact. Who was the first Chief Election Commissioner of India? Again, a very important fact. The answer was Sukumar Sen. Now here, this name is also very important. You should search about him. T.N. Session. he is considered to be like he has actually moved election commission in a way, and he has his actions. He was an IS officer, but his actions have had a great impact on electoral history of India. So you should definitely read about him. He's also written this autobiography, which if people are interested, they can definitely read. So yes, what is the primary function of Election Commission of India? Conducting municipal elections? No, that's done by state election commissions. Conducting state and national elections? That's the answer. Conducting elections for cooperative societies? No. Elections by elections only? No. So option B is the answer. Which of the following is not a function of Election Commission of India? Supervision of election machinery? Definitely. Granting recognition of political parties? Definitely. Allotment of electoral symbol? Yes. So naturally, option D. Passing bills in the parliament? That's not what the election commission does. Next upon, we have which are these bodies assist election commission in the conduct of elections? So we see basically now we'll just delve a bit into this. Computer this CAG is a post which is under Article 148 of the Indian Constitution, and it is with regards to reviewing the accounts of government in general, and like doing a survey, and like basically it's with regards to like they just ensure that the government is spending at the right place and all that. So it's a constitutional post, and it has not much to do with election commission. Planning commission, again no, and it's not even a body that exists now. UPSC is again a body which conducts examinations and recruitment for government, but not elections. So the answer is state election commissions. It is also important to know under which article State Election Commission is formed. So maybe you can tell us in the comments, the people, that under which article is State Election of India, State Election Commissions present. Now on to the 11th question. What is the minimum age for voting? As we know, now it's 18 years. So option B is the correct answer. Which of the following system is used for elections of the President of India? So for President, we have different, and for general elections, we have a different system. So for general elections, we have FPTP, that is first past the post, but for presidential election, we have proportional representation by single transferable vote. If I have to basically tell you what's the difference, so in first past the post, it's basically that whoever gets the maximum number of votes, he wins the election. So basically, even if like every candidate got same amount of votes, supposedly 10 votes each, and there's one candidate who got 11 votes, so he'll be declared the winner. But in proportional representation, we have the seats at large decided, and that is like basically if India had a proportional representation system, then how it would work. So we have 543 seats. So right now, if you see that, if you take the example of BJP, it got something 43% of the total vote share. But in like as a percentage of the whole assembly, it definitely holds more than 43%, and that's it. So it also happens a lot that even a 33% vote, at times voted like total voter turnout, 33% voters voted for political party A, but still in the election, in final Lok Sabha, they got some around 50% of the seats. So that happens because we have this FPTP system. But in proportional representation, this does not happen. And in proportional representation system, if a party gets 30% of the votes, then they will only get 30% of the seats in the election. So that is something which happens, and we have the system in presidential form of government, presidential elections. So option B is the correct answer here. Then on to the next question. Who is eligible to vote in the Lok Sabha elections? So the answer is citizens of India above the age of 18 years. So option A is the correct answer. So as we discussed here, the answer to the question number 13 is option A. Now 14. What is the term of office of Lok Sabha? It is very, everyone would know, 5 years, option B. Which body is responsible for the preparation of electoral rolls? As we know, it's option 3, Election Commission of India. Electoral rolls are basically a list of voters, simple as that. How often are general elections held for India? Again, every 5 years. In which year were EVMs first used? Now, this is a very, very important question. So, the answer is 1996 in general elections we are talking about, and also EVM becomes a very important topic. So, basically, you need to know that who made EVMs and who's the person, which organization currently makes EVMs. So, these facts are something which you should definitely be knowing. Okay, now the question, who can remove Chief Election Commissioner from office? Now, this is a very important question, and the answer is option C, that is Parliament of India. holds this power. Now on to the next part, which is which of the following statements is true about MCC. So we know that MCC is basically a model code of conduct. So it basically stipulates that how the political parties should like maintain discipline. That basically they cannot undertake any like they cannot ask for votes on religious basis, or they cannot incite violence and such things, and what basically the do's and don'ts. So it is covered in MCC. So about that, it is true about it is legally enforceable. Yes, it is. It is voluntary guidelines. No, it's not a voluntary guideline. It is legally enforceable. It is a set of guidelines issued by Election Commission of India. Again, that's true. It is a constitutional amendment. No, it's not. So here definitely these two things are correct. Option A and C both are correct. It is a set of guidelines issued by Election Commission, and it is also legally enforceable. But now here the question comes that which option should we go for? So it's better to go for option A rather than C, because here Election Commission is mentioned and it's not completely specified. Election Commission of India or State Election Commission. So it can happen that such questions can also be there in CLAT. So you should know how to deal with them. So go for the more specific one. So option A. What does not occur during election process in India? Filing a nomination definitely occurs. Campaigning definitely. Counting a vote definitely. Presidential veto is something which you don't have. So yeah. Now this, which law governs the conduct of elections in India? So it is definitely ROP Act. This is something that everyone should be knowing. Representation of People Act. Now question number 22. What does not fall under the jurisdiction of Election Commission of India? Delimitation of constituencies, preparation of electoral rolls does. Conducting panchayat election does not. Granting recognition to political parties does. So this option C is the correct answer. Now this option question 23. What is the maximum limit for election expenditure? So this is again a very good question, and the answer is something that we should be knowing. That is 70 lakhs. Option B. Now this, which article of the Indian Constitution allows for imposition of president rule in a state? So this is about actually emergencies. So the answer is first of all Article 356, and I'll tell you a trick to remember these emergencies. So basically there are three types of emergencies: national, state, and financial. National is in Article 352, state is in Article 356, and financial is in Article 360 of the Indian Constitution. Now on to the 25th question: which body is responsible for the conduct of panchayat elections? State election commissions is the answer, we have already discussed. Which of the following is not a requirement for a candidate to contest? Must be a citizen of India, definitely is a requirement. Must be at least 25 years old, definitely a requirement. Then must be a member of registered political party? No. Must take an oath before returning officer? Definitely. So option C is the answer. Now this, on to the 27th question. Who decides the schedule for the general elections in India? So it is, as we know, Election Commission of India. It divides, and it is the karta dharta of elections in India. So unke haath mein hota sab kuch. In which year was 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act passed to empower Panchayati Raj institutions? So the answer is 1992, and these are two very important Constitutional Amendment Acts which should be knowing. So this is with regards to 11th schedule and the 12th schedule of the Indian Constitution, which deals with Panchayati Raj, and the 12th schedule deals with municipalities, which we have. So this is basically local governance and taking democracy to the very roots of India. Now on to the 29th question. Which act provides for disqualification of members on grounds of defection? So we have the anti-defection law in place, which is the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So definitely that is the answer. Now 30th, which article of the Constitution provides for adult suffrage? So this is again a very interesting question, and the answer is Article 326, and it is guaranteed by the Constitution itself. Now about general elections, general knowledge about elections. So who is the returning officer in an election? An officer appointed by the an officer appointed to supervise the election process. That's the answer. A candidate contesting? No. A member of election commission? Not necessarily. A voter? No. So option A is the answer. What is a by-election? So it's basically option A is the correct answer. An election held to fill a vacancy. So election held to recall an elected official? No. We right now we don't have a right to recall as such. So right to recall is basically that I don't like my MLA. I want to remove him. So can people do that? Right now we don't have the process, and there's again a very interesting constitutional facet which you can research about, right to recall. So you can definitely research about that. Now this, an election held alongside the general elections, no. An election held in more than one phase, no. So by-elections are basically when an MP or MLA is suspended, maybe because of defection or some other reason, maybe he had a conviction against him. जैसे हमने वो उसमें जो अभी एक बहुत फेमस सीरीज है पंचायत, उसमें भी देखा था. So the notorious MLA, he got suspended for murdering a dog apparently, and by elections were held. But such was the case that he was sure कि मेरी wife ही by elections जीतेगी. So in general the power stayed in those hands. But yes, so that's a by election when there's a vacancy. To fill that, we have another election. Which state in India has the largest number of Lok Sabha seats? The answer is Uttar Pradesh, because it is dependent more upon कि जहाँ ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन होती है. तो सबसे ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन एज वी नो हमारी सबसे बड़ी स्टेट इलेक्शन यूपी है. सो यूपी इज सच बिग, इतनी ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन है कि अगर यूपी एक स्टेट होता, एक कंट्री होता अपने में, तो 5th लार्जेस्ट पॉपुलेशन वाइज कंट्री होता वर्ल्ड का. सो दैट्स हाउ बिग यूपी इज. Now, this, what is the full form of EPIC? Now here one interesting thing जो मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहता हूँ, that is कि कुछ questions में ना हमें चाहे डायरेक्ट आंसर नहीं भी आता हो ना, still we can answer them. तो ऐसे क्वेश्चन में स्पेसिफिकली दैट कैन हैपन. तो आप ये देखो कि जो फुल फॉर्म है, डज इट मेक सेंस और नॉट. सो लेट्स गो विद द फर्स्ट वन, इलेक्शन पार्टिसिपेशन आइडेंटिफिकेशन कार्ड. प्रोबेबल सी लगती है, राइट? देन दिस, इलेक्शन प्रूफ आइडेंटिटी कार्ड, इलेक्टोरल फोटो आइडेंटिटी कार्ड. So I'll just tell you the answer पहले. So it is option C, electoral photo identity card, electors photo identity card. Now see, अब इसको आप कैसे हो कर सकते हो? इलेक्शन पार्टिसिपेशन आइडेंटिफिकेशन कार्ड, दिस सीम्स प्रोबेबल, तो इसको हम एक तरह से हो रहे, बट इलेक्शन प्रूफ आइडेंटिटी कार्ड, अब इलेक्शन प्रूफ का तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं बनता, तो दिस कैन डेफिनेटली बी एलिमिनेटेड. फिर इलेक्शन परमानेंट आइडेंटिफिकेशन, परमानेंट का कोई मतलब नहीं बनता, तो दिस कैन आल्सो बी एलिमिनेटेड. तो इससे आपके पास एटलीस्ट 50-50 प्रोबेबिलिटी आ जाती टू गेट द आंसर राइट. सो आप ऐसे ही ट्रिक्स यूज कर सकते हैं, इट एक्चुअली हेल्प्स इन मॉक्स एंड इन असली पेपर में भी, इट विल हेल्प अ लॉट. Now this, what is the maximum number of candidates a voter can rank in the presidential election? So, जैसे I told you कि we have a different system for proportional representation and in presidential elections. So उसमें we basically rank our candidates कि 1, 2, 3, 4 सब कुछ. So that's why here the answer is option D, 4. Then this, which of the following is not an eligibility criteria for voting in elections? Being a citizen, definitely yes. Being at least 18-year-old is. Being of sound mind is. Holding a government job, no, it's not. So option D. Which election involves the largest electorate in India? It is obviously Lok Sabha elections. सब ज़्यादा हमारी voting उसमें होती है. तो yes. Now these are certain questions which are more important from AILET perspective. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with power, function and independence of election commission? Article 324 is the answer, क्योंकि it is the article which deals with election commission itself. Which article of Indian Constitution mandates that elections to the House of People and Legislative Assembly shall be on the basis of adult suffrage? So article 326. These two articles are very very important. तो आप इनको याद कर लो. Then this, which article prohibits discrimination against any citizen on ground of religion, race, or any then in matters related to election? So here the answer is article 325, again something which is very important, and इसमें I'll tell you one more trick to remember it. So basically हमारे fundamental rights होते हैं, उसमें एक article है 15 which states that there shall be no discrimination against any citizen on the basis of race, religion, caste, sex and place of birth. तो 5 से आप याद रखो कि article 15 वैसे और article 325 in election specifically. So that's a way to just remember it. Now this, which article provides for delimitation of constituencies? Now this is again a very interesting question, and the answer is article 82 of the Indian Constitution. So these are like, and we're talking about national level, so that's why these. State we have different. Now this, which section of ROP Act deals with qualification, disqualification of members of Lok Sabha? So ऐसे क्वेश्चंस ना आप AILET में एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो, क्योंकि AILET as we know is very unpredictable and they can definitely ask such questions. तो इसका आंसर है section 4, important to remember. Now on to the 43rd question. Which section of ROP Act deals with disqualification of MPs and MLAs on ground of defection? So the answer here stands to be section 8, which is very, very important. Then which article of the constitution deals with reservation of seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in House of People in legislative assemblies of state? So this is like again a very interesting question, and answer is article 330. Then which section of ROP Act deals with preparation and revision of electoral rolls? So the answer here is section 15. So कुछ sections हैं. It's not that difficult to remember. So आप उनको बस याद कर लो और इस list के through ही it's more than enough. Exhaustive है. अगर आप बस जितने इस questionnaire में हैं उतने भी याद रख लो तो it's more than sufficient. Then this, which article of the Indian Constitution provides for election of the President of India? So it is again a very interesting question, and मतलब this is a very close question. यहाँ पे सारे articles बहुत close हैं, but the answer here is Article 54. I can imagine that a lot of people might go with Article 52 because that is the option, that is the article which tells you that there should be a post of president. But no, elections are in Article 54 and manner of elections are in Article 55. So yes, then which article of the Indian Constitution provides for election of the Vice President of India? So here I'll like again one question to every one of you. Iska answer to is definitely Article 66. But now a question to you guys is which article of the Indian Constitution provides for the post of Vice President of India? So that is something that you guys can definitely pin down in comments, and the right answer we'll definitely give it a heart from the channel. सो येस इट्स अ वे टू रिमेंबर, एंड ये आपको याद रहेगा क्योंकि अगर आपने यहाँ लिखा, आप दूसरों की तो हेल्प कर ही रहे हो क्योंकि उन्हें आंसर पता चल रहा है, ना आपको याद रहेगा कि ठीक है उस वीडियो में मैंने ये आंसर करा था एंड दैट इज द मतलब आंसर. तो इट्स अ वे टू रिमेंबर स्टफ एंड इट जेन्युइनली हेल्प्स. नाउ दिस, which section of ROP Act deals with procedures for filling seats in the Council of States? So सबसे पहले Council of States everyone should know is, as you know, Rajya Sabha. So here the answer is section 30. Which article provides for power of parliament to make provisions with respect to elections to legislatures? So this is again a very interesting question, and the answer is, as you know, Article 327. Now this, which section of ROP Act 951 specifies the procedure for the nomination of candidates? So the answer here is section 33. So I know कि थोड़ा intimidating लग रहा होगा ये sections, articles ये सब याद रखने होंगे, पर जितने इस list में ना बस आप उतने कर लो. So that should be more than enough. And with this we come to an end of these 50 questions, and I'm pretty sure कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब we have tried to make it more a very exhaustive list of questions, but definitely you should research much more about election commission from other perspectives as well, and keep researching, keep studying from different perspectives, like different areas specific to elections, क्योंकि इसके probability of coming is very very high. But still, I hope this video helped you out, and for more such videos, definitely subscribe to our channel, and thank you everyone.